Calling the April 8th meeting of the Ayer Board of Health to order. Public input. We have no public, and I don't think we have anyone like waiting on phone, right? Okay, no. So we have no public input. Old business, so 3 Union and 32 Washington, there's still no...
Yeah, I gave all the info to Bridget.
Okay.
That was why they stayed on there, because if she was going to be here,
Yeah,
she'd give us an
yeah,
update. But
Okay, all right, I'll follow up then with Bridget on that one. And...
But both had been received
yeah,
Yeah,
letters and, okay.
yeah.
they were served. They
So,
know.
yep.
They know.
Yep, they know what they need to do. So I just need to send a request for like what's the wording of the next like notification.
And I know Bridget just wanted to confirm that they actually still had chickens.
Yeah, yeah. And the wandering the chicken that Julie
One last
took into
night.
custody, that
Wasn't
That
that?
wasn't-
It was weirdly close, but it's not.
Okay.
but it's not involved in the.
Okay, because I saw him incarcerated last night. I'm like, uh-oh.
I know. It's,
They figured out who it was, and they have a chicken permit, and
Okay.
it
just yeah.
he just got out.
Just going out for a little walk. Okay. So that's then I think all. So you've got the other applications ready to go. Get those out later this week. Next week.
I'm going to try
Okay.
and get them out this week. I actually collected email addresses for almost everyone.
Awesome.
So I'm actually going to email everyone and then mail a few people.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll
Okay.
produce less paper.
All right. That sounds good. They can't do the whole thing online, can they?
can.
Or they can really?
Yeah. The only people who can't really do it all online are first timers. First timers, because we need the abutters list and all these things.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Oh, that's great. I didn't realize it had progressed to the level
Yep,
of like
you can-
even our permits now.
there's-
That's fantastic.
There's one page on the website, and it's you pay it for $30 and fill out this form, and problem solved.
Great.
And they get emailed directly to me,
It goes right to you? That's fantastic.
right to me, so I don't have to deal with it.
I like that.
So
Good.
Awesome. All right, and we have over 30. I was asking her before, can you believe that? We
Really?
have over 30
Oh, my God.
people in this town keeping chickens. That's very cool.
Yeah, surprisingly.
yeah,
you know.
mostly
Yeah.
chickens. There's a couple of people with ducks and geese,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one person with goats.
Yeah, but mostly
Mostly chickens.
chickens, like chickens for eggs, right?
Chickens
Yeah.
for eggs.
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
that is. That's very cool.
Yeah.
You get some good compost, too.
Yeah.
Another nice thing about it. Okay, harm reduction. So I want to touch base with you while you're here this week. So you're not available next week. So I'm going to go to, or actually go to or call in.
Call in
or
on the
whatever.
18th?
Yes.
Yes,
Right,
if you
right.
could. I am away those 3 middle days in that week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's 2, then one of them is the one that is Jenna and kind of everybody. And then there's another one, it's not really harm reduction, it's the
It's the
opioid settlement.
opioid, yes.
Yeah, I always think of that for some reason
But
with harm
that's-
reduction, because it seems like
That's on
it's
what date,
similar.
though? The other?
I think that's the 18th too, I think it's
That's
the
right,
same
you said
day.
one's in the morning and one's
Yeah,
in the
one's in the
afternoon.
morning,
I'm
one's in the
sorry,
afternoon.
Pam, that's the one day,
no,
you know, if it
that's
rains
okay.
and we come back early, I'll be happy to jump in
That's
with
fine.
you.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
It's all weather depending with us.
Are you okay together? Okay.
We don't want to
all right,
sit in a hotel room and look out the window at the rain and,
First
you know.
week of-
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we'll see.
okay, yeah.
We'll
Okay.
see.
All right.
So, yeah,
So I'll plan to go to both of those. That's
Okay.
the only things going on that I know about with that. And you don't have any new information, right?
I
Any
haven't
new
heard.
stuff like that,
April
okay.
April 18th.
April 18th. I know Jenna sent out a write up after
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
meeting, but
yeah.
that was about it.
She's really good. She's on top of that too,
Yeah.
all the different parties that were involved.
Okay. Okay, so I will go to that one. Then review of regulations, we also don't have a hold on
Yeah.
there. That one, I just don't want to completely take it off of the
Yeah.
agenda because I kind of want us to,
Keep doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep doing
keep it on.
But we're okay with motels at this
So
point,
I
right?
sent you the final
Yep.
draft. If that's all good,
Yeah.
then I can
Yeah,
send
I
it
think
to
it is.
Carly. Because I know when I was doing the minutes, there was like a section of like, how do we want to word that?
That was at the end of the meeting,
Yes.
remember, we had
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
feedback from.
I'll take one more look at it. I think it's okay.
Okay.
Because I did when I first got it. I looked at it on my iPad and I was like, yeah, that looks high. But I'll check it with my notes
Okay,
too.
because they're, like Pam, remember, we had feedback from the audience, we had some, and that made us start to think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. No, that was good. I'll check it.
Okay.
I will check those and I'll send, so the next step in that is they go to,
So
Carly, right?
they go to Carly and will send a copy to Bridget, who will send it off to, I think it was DEP or
yeah.
somebody.
whoever. Okay.
Someone with an acronym.
Yeah, okay. That sounds fair. All right. That sounds good. Do we have any stuff from Bridget? Did she give us any?
She didn't give
We
me
have,
anything.
so we have nothing to review, so nothing. If nobody else has a problem with it, while we're still waiting for Jim, can we take a quick look at the call log?
Yes.
Maybe? So call log had one kind of interesting issue that I just wanted to see where we were, and that's with the smoking
Yes.
at Apple Valley. So there was actually, so is the one on the 20th and the 3rd, they're kind of related, or?
It's all the same guy. And actually on top of that, I got like 4 other phone calls from him.
Oh, okay, all right.
I did contact Tobacco Controlled. Joan got back to me this morning. She's going to contact Apple Valley and remind them there is no smoking on medical property.
Is this like the employees out back taking a break?
I think it's residents.
Really? Oh.
That's what he says. I don't know for sure. So I contacted Joan,
Yeah,
and she's going to contact them, and she'll let me know how that goes. And they
Okay.
can actually go out and inspect, and so I think she's going to.
okay, because they have a designated area, I
Yeah,
think,
this-
or at least
this-
there's one designated area.
This gentleman's complaint is that they're smoking right outside the back door, and if the windows are open, it's going in,
Yeah, yeah.
which is fair.
And that's actually covered in our regs.
You're not supposed to do that.
Okay, all right.
I don't think you're supposed to. That would be beyond us, too. So he's called a couple of times. I've tried to call him back. He doesn't necessarily pick up his voicemail. As far as I can tell, he's a resident there. So.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
But he has also called several times for a whole bunch of other things.
Okay.
Yeah,
That are not, that's just not our purview. We don't,
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Can't
Yeah,
adjust that,
exactly, yeah, yeah. So the things that are, right, go to Bridget and Joan and the things.
And, we do the best we can, but,
Yeah, yeah.
and we've told them several times because of what it is, you need to contact the state. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. So that's okay on the call log. Do we want to take a quick look then at minutes?
Yeah.
We have a couple more
Yes.
minutes here. So that actually looked.
Hello.
Board of Health.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Jim Garecki.
Hi,
Oh,
Jim.
hi.
How are you?
Hi, I didn't realize you were coming in person. I thought you were just calling in. We did it as a hybrid.
Oh, well, I'd much rather be in person.
Would much rather have you in person. Okay, we were, do you want to do minutes or do you want to?
I can make a motion to accept the Board of Health meetings from, this is February 29th.
Yeah, there's a March 11th and a February 29th.
So there's February 29th.
Yeah, February 29th looks okay to you? Do you want me to just sign the?
Yeah, just sign
this
the-
thing, right? Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Motion, all right.
I hadn't looked at it the 11th, I had just said that the 29th we could do. No, this,
Hang on. Okay. I'm sorry about that, I thought I muted it. All right, so I will second. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. All right. We have accepted the minutes of February
29th,
29th. Thank you.
and I'll make another motion, if you've had a chance to look at those, Pam.
Yep, I have.
To accept the meetings from Monday, March 11th, Board of Health meeting.
Okay, I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let me sign that one too. Okay, here's the signature page for it. One. Thank you very much. Okay, well, we got a ton of stuff.
Good.
That was great. So we're okay there, and minutes. And we have a guest. Jim Garaffi.
So exciting.
Nobody come forward. Speak to us.
I'll be Bridget for tonight. How's
Okay,
that? Not that I can replace Bridget, but.
No, never. Nobody can.
Well, thank you for having me at the meeting.
Sure.
What I wanted to do is stop in as the director and just kind of provide some updates on the agency. I've been trying to make my rounds to the board, so.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff's a little now outdated because we did have our agency meeting, but I can provide you with additional updates.
Okay.
So the first one I wanted to talk to you about was our agency bylaws. And so we've had bylaws since we've had the agency for 90 years or so. The last time they were significantly updated was 1996, with the exception of accepting a couple of new towns. Pepperell in 2009 and Stowe in 2016. We really haven't updated them. So we sent them out to the board members for consideration. And what we did is, as administrative staff, is took a first pass at them and said, there are things, unfortunately, with the closing of the Neshoba Nursing and Hospice,
Yeah.
there are a lot of references there that need to be removed.
Yeah.
There's some other administrative type things that we want to make the bylaws match the actual operations. So there are lots of committees and stuff like that that just don't happen because it's a challenge to get people to come to the meeting, let alone be on all these committees.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Okay.
And then there was there's some additional, I don't want to say authority we wanted, but some additional authority we wanted you to consider. There are some licenses that we issue for multiple towns. So we issue septic system hauler licenses and installs licenses of food trucks for all the towns. When we do disciplinary action, when a board does,
Yeah.
it's generally been relegated just to that town. But my thought is if somebody really does a poor job installing a septic system in one town, it should probably lose the license through all the towns. We just don't have a mechanism for
Yeah,
that.
that's interesting.
So put some language in there for
Yeah,
that.
gotcha. Okay.
We had a little bit of conversation at the meeting. One of the comments that come up is that, again, as you said, maybe it's an interesting thing to look at, but maybe we need to have an appeal process in there for somebody instead of, if we were going to do something. So
Yeah.
what I said to the board, so our Neshoba meeting was the end of March. And so we had a brief discussion about the potential revisions to the bylaws. What I explained to the members there, it was exciting. We had 8 towns represented, which is so great.
Yeah.
Was that we will take, we went through them all. We'll kind of summarize the discussion, hopefully get changes out to the board members, hopefully a month before the annual meeting, which is in June.
Okay.
So again, there's no rush, but we want to, this is part of our public health excellence grant work plan as well, to
Gotcha.
improve our governance and streamline our governance for the agency. So we wanted to do that. One of the sections is, and we're kind of hesitant to what to do with it, our bylaws state that a quorum for our meeting is 5.
Okay.
Typically quorums are one more than half the membership.
Yep.
5 isn't quite half of 16.
Yeah, exactly.
But we typically get 5 or 6 people to attend, so 9 we'd never meet, we'd never do business.
Yeah,
So it's one of these, we need to look at it, and
Okay.
so that's part of the conversation. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if you have any questions about the bylaw kind of modifications, or
Not No, not specifically. I did kind of wonder though, what, now that it's been a little while with nursing kind of, like, how is the transition with that?
So we still have Terry Coonahan, who is our COO, and was particularly over the nursing side, and Sharon Veazey, who really ran she was the office manager is not the right term. She administratively had her.
Yeah.
And so they're still with us, and so Sharon is still. We just finished up the closure paperwork with CMS.
Okay.
November, I think it was, the end of November. It's a very long process, even though we closed in June.
Yeah.
But Sharon's still there, and we did Joanne McCool, who was our nursing director at the time, we were closing, did a fantastic job with Terry and Sharon, finding homes for all our patients and our staff, a lot of our staff as well, with other agencies. So we're not getting a lot of calls, but when we get the calls, we're trying to refer people to the right places.
And we were able to get everybody.
There was one person that took a little bit longer because it was kind of a private pay patient. But we found somebody to handle that patient as well.
Okay.
So all the patients found a home, and part of the rules are you have to find a home for them with an agency that has the same rating as your agency or higher.
Oh, okay.
So you can't just dump them on somebody.
Interesting.
So we were able to do that as well.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
so
then
Sharon will be there. And so right now we have to be able to provide records if people need them. So we still have the ability to provide medical records if we need to. So
okay. So did everyone? What happens to the medical records then that you have? That you're not the only repository for any of those, right?
So for the nursing services, I think they're almost exclusively electronic, and so they're in the home care, home base.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And so when we closed the agency, we were able to get rid of that expense.
Okay.
Like $9,000 a month expense.
And
so we've got it on some kind of it's a maintenance kind of thing. So we can access the records. We can't add to them.
Exactly.
I'm not explaining it well, but it's some level.
Like that.
Yep, I got it. Yeah, it's the levels of permissions.
It's an archive.
Yeah.
So we can pull that record if they need.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. And what about, I'm sure you don't know much more than we do, but you know anything about Neshoba, about Stewart, about?
No, just what we're hearing and seeing in the
So they've given like no closure notice or anything, right?
No, not that we've seen. I know you've heard that the governor's trying to push them hard to sell.
Right.
Yep.
If that may be the best thing. I don't know. We need to keep hospitals in the state to be able to provide, but they also need to be financially stable. To do that
exactly.
As well,
Is the Neshoba, the rehab and therapy clinic that's over by Shaw's and Groton, is that part of Stewart? Those therapists and providers? For some reason, somebody had said that to me, that, if Stewart goes, then that new place across from Shaw's, and I'm like, I don't know if that's an affiliate or if those therapists are. Find out.
Yeah, I know where you mean.
Yeah. My mother is going over there and she's insisting it's part of Stewart. I'm like, well, okay, it's worth looking into, but she's probably.
Well, she may be going to Texas to get her therapy before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would thought that they would have used all their space up at the hospital.
Right.
Because they do have the office.
Because they did at one time have, maybe they still have a small, but they did have the therapy up there.
Yeah, I know it. That's, I don't know.
That I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Just thought I'd give you a try, because you're another set of ears. We sure aren't hearing anything. So.
And again, we're trying to keep track of it just so that we have a sense of it. Like I say, it's unfortunate because there are, 8 or 9 in the state hospitals that are affected. Did they close the one in Stoughton? Was that what I heard? Or?
That was
There was one they closed, but I don't remember which one.
Okay. I did, yes. There was one they closed, but I'm not sure if it was Stoughton or not.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, tough.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to update the board on is the PHE grant, so the Public Health Excellence Grant.
Yep.
So we have, for the past 2.5 years now, been receiving grant money from the Department of Public Health as part of their process of trying to bring all local boards of health up to the same standards. So they've provided us, in the first couple of years, it was $220,000 a year. This past year, the year we're currently in, it's been $402,000. We're going into grant writing with them shortly for the next 3 years. They've been 1-year contracts that they're moving to a 3-year contract. So we're hoping to secure that and then not have to do this every year.
Exactly.
What that allows us to do is to hire 2 new health agents. One who's now fully trained and been deployed. Yeah, she's been deployed. She's doing a wonderful job, which is great because we lost a health agent to for retirement. And the second one we hired in January. It's hard to hire people, and it's even more difficult to hire people with experience. So both the individuals have been essentially out of college. The new hire is going off to soil evaluator training starting this week. We've been mentoring the person in the office. So one of the nice things is we take the time to train people. So when we put them in a community, the community and them they're on the same at the same speed. So there's no surprise to the community. Hopefully we provide them with enough information.
On the job training.
It's successful. Because we don't want any kind of shock to the system. Sometimes we bring a new person into a town. There's adjustments. We'd like to make sure those adjustments happen as smoothly as possible. So we also, and I'm sure you've seen the emails from Jenna, and actually you've seen her at a meeting. Jenna was our first hire, and we're just so happy to have her. Because just a wealth of information, really hard worker. She adds, though we have nurses, she adds a little bit more of that social kind of communications and education piece of the agency. She's worked with the academic public health department, which is the Department of Public Health, to help us put together some language appropriate materials, teaching materials. So Bridget went through a food service database, and there were a couple of issues that we saw that kept popping up. One, if they don't have if the dishwasher doesn't work, they don't know what to do otherwise, so they just keep doing it. So we got the sanitizing and 3-bay sink sign put together in multiple languages. So there's no excuses. You can have a gallon of bleach there. Your dishwasher go down, you can still do it. And then temperature chart, because again, there's a lot of temperatures to remember, having it in multiple languages. So they did that. They also helped us with one of the concerns the nurses had when the shelter moved in is how do the folks know where to go for medical treatment, and what's the appropriate facility for that. So the academic public health department was able to put posters together. Again, I think they can only do it in one language because I don't know if they had a language specialist for another language. But we got signs for down there, so we could post them so that folks could see. And we thought that was a good use of their time and our effort to get that done. So,
very much so.
And when we also spent a little bit of money on a part-time food inspector. Unfortunately, we share with another part-time job. And it's hard to get the part-time part we want. So we're working on that stuff.
I know.
But that's helped us kind of keep the inspections up as well.
Exactly.
So it also allows us to purchase the food service software that Bridget uses for inspections. And what's really nice about that, she's not as happy about carrying a clunky computer around. But we can actually mine it for information. So now we can run reports, and that's where we got the information about the dishwashers and the temperatures. So overall, it's been wonderful. And we're hoping to have that continue. So that we
for sure.
we could provide additional benefits to the town. So
absolutely. And we've had a wonderful experience working with Jenna on the harm reduction stuff. So between Jenna and Bridget, you guys take care of us.
Yes.
You really, really, really take care of us.
That's good. I'm glad this is all working out. I mean, it's Ayer has different needs than a lot of the towns because not as much septic and well, but a lot more social type things like that. So I'm glad that, and the food service part of it. So I'm glad that's working out well.
Good. It's a win-win. We're really happy with the support we got.
Well, that's good because that was a good way to kind of segue into. Obviously, you saw that the assessments went up and went up significantly this year. I don't know how else to say.
What was the big driver for that?
So part of it is kind of a historical. We hadn't collected enough in fees and assessments over time, and those costs kept going up. And a lot of times, the agency's financed in 2 ways. One is the assessment we get from communities for the work we do, and the other is through fees that we collect for certain services, food service, septic system, Title V. Those fees have been going down, and a lot of that septic food stuff has been going up, a lot more questions, lots more, housing and environmental
yeah.
and complaints and
Yeah.
and that. So it got to a point where the fees weren't covering the kind of proportion of the budget.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is get that to a point where there's enough of a balance so that each year we
Yeah.
can kind of run a balanced budget. So, and again, it's the same drivers other people had: salary costs, insurance costs.
Everything goes up, nothing
yeah.
goes down.
Yeah. No, that actually makes sense to me. And I just didn't know did you like have something that just kind of, blew up, or was it more
It's the kind of the down, the fees,
creeping-
the fees
Yeah.
creeping the wrong direction. The other
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
because we're going to shrink the agency a little bit with
Yeah.
the nursing going down,
Yeah.
we still need to have some HR, IT, and financial
Yeah.
staff. And so
Exactly.
that cost was kind of spread across everybody, and now we're going to bear it ourselves. So we're going to work to make sure. Make sure we reduce that to the smallest amount possible. We have to have the staff we need, but we don't need full-time staff in all those positions. So
Exactly.
that'll be a cost that we're looking at how to kind of get into
Yeah.
the budget.
That
So,
would be more, yeah.
and at so at the December budget meeting, the board at the time asked me to look at the fees also.
Yeah.
So I did that in March. At the meeting, they voted to increase some of those fees to bring them up to what they thought would be probably more appropriate.
And is that going to get it kind of set then? You
That's
think
the
so
goal
At that level, we won't see another big jump?
That's the hope, but we have to take a look
Yeah, I
at it.
know
Like I say, once we
exactly.
know what the kind of what we have to include for HR or financial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
Well, I think it's one of those, it is what it is, because every one of these towns would be in a pickle if we had to provide all what you do ourselves.
no, and we found just trying to hire people, it was great to have the grant, but they've given the grant to, there are 305 of the 351 communities involved in the grant.
Really?
In different forms and shapes. So there's been a lot of hiring out there.
Wow.
Which means it's been and the state's been hiring, it's been very difficult to get staff. So when I tell some of the state staff that, some of our staff have been around for 35 years, 25
Yeah.
years, and they're like, really? It's like, yeah. So you hate to lose that kind of staff. So
Yeah.
part of it is because of that hiring and because of just wages in general, that stuff needs to be considered as well, just to maintain.
That public health thing, though, it strikes me as one of those kinds of careers that it's a little bit like where I made my career in regulatory affairs for medical devices. Never heard of it in college.
Right.
Nobody knew it existed.
Yeah.
So there are all these fields out there that are going to remain in demand for quite some time. That how the heck do you get the word out there to? I don't think there are high school kids thinking, I want to be a food inspector. But
Right.
maybe they should be.
And I know the Department of Public Health, they one of the part of local and regional public health, they're looking
Yeah.
at how to boost the
Yeah.
people coming
Yeah.
into the field. It's interesting. I have interviewed probably in the past year a lot of people with a public health degree from either ULowell or UMass.
Yep.
And I'm amazed at the diversity of what the university thinks is public health. There's a lot of more policy and stuff like that. Than I think. I always tell people we're kind of a land use public health agency. We do a lot of wells and septic and environmental type concerns and food and stuff like
Is that not part of what is being offered through the curriculum in these colleges that have that?
That I don't know, but the people I've seen come in,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's more policy and statistics and which is kind of these up and coming fields.
Yeah.
But, so I think everyone in our office came with a science background of some sort.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine was in biology and environmental health. Others were in
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah.
So it's as long as you have a good science background.
Yeah, is that kind of the typical
Yeah.
background you're pulling from, or
Right.
people with general science,
It's best because
microbiology and chemistry and that kind of stuff?
that helps you. I mean, you could just go and do kind of enforcement by the code. The science helps you understand what it is.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
the part that's
Yeah,
valuable
yeah.
to us, right?
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely one of those careers that it doesn't come to mind when you think of the first thing to do, but it's really interesting.
Right. There's actually PBS has a little series that they're running on public health through the pandemic, and it's pretty good. So
Oh, that is really cool.
This is it's kind of the silent entity that provides vaccines and epidemiology and stuff like that have changed people's lives in so many ways that. Well, PBS has done a couple of good American experiences with, they did Dr. Wiley and the food, getting the whole food chain sort of cleaned up and food testing. And they've done a couple of them within the last couple of years, I think, that have had a very strong kind of public health bent to them. Yeah, and I think the term public health, as we're seeing with the university degrees, covers a broad area, a really broad area. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
exactly. Well, doing a good job for us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's
absolutely appreciate it.
That's what I have. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer any of those. Or
I don't, but I am going to take a look at the info that was sent out on the on changing your bylaws. Is there a sort of point person for if anybody has any questions, call you?
Yeah, myself or Sharon Beasley,
Okay.
This is a good point. Did you actually I sent it out in a big manila envelope?
Yeah.
You got it in the mail?
Yeah, I did.
Because about 3 days or 4 days after I mailed all those, someone from the post office come up and says, because of our mailing labels and because of their machines, we have to cut the label.
Okay.
Up here and put it. So at our meeting, about half the people got the stuff. Maybe they'll get to them eventually.
Okay.
But I guess
okay,
the machine, when it reads the label with the sticker on it, it gets confused.
Yeah, I got mine. I got my big manila envelope.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Like I said, a bunch of people did, but someone's like, nah.
Yeah.
And when the post office kind of came and told you got to do it differently, it's like, okay, we will.
I guess they really mean it.
Right. We're seeing the evidence of.
Yeah, right from the horse's mouth. Yeah, I will. I'll take a look at that stuff. And
if you have any questions on it, or anytime, shoot me an email or
sure,
whatever.
I will. And that's the end of June.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping to do is
looking at
getting
it voted in, or
so what we have to do for the annual meeting is our elections.
Yeah.
And I have to notify the board like a month ahead of the elections of the slate of candidates. So I'm going to try to also have updated draft of the bylaws at the same time, so you have a month to look at them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And that way there, if you have any questions before the meeting. And we don't have to, like I say, it's not firm and fast, we have to do it in June. We just don't want to lose it on the radar.
Right, but it will be this next quarterly meeting.
That's right, yeah. And if not, we can do them in September, like I said, if people want to kind of hash out things.
Okay.
But like I say, we don't want it to go on too long.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. Well, you kind of want to close the books on
right, things don't get done if you don't get it done, right?
Yeah. That one's done, move on to the next emergency. I think we should nominate Steve Slasky for a position on the board, in absentia.
Well, when I was in Scouts, if you went to a leadership meeting and you didn't show up, you got picked to do it. So that's funny, but that's what we used to do. So you always showed up, so you could say,
yeah, exactly. No, I think he's eclipse watching. He has a note. He has a note. For absence.
We won't do that board meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. He probably had a location we could watch it a little better, didn't he?
I think he went to Vermont.
Okay.
So
Arlington, it was black, pitch black.
Wow.
They showed it on the news. They lost. They were 100% in totality.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really wild.
it is cool.
I stood out front of the steps
Yeah,
with
we
glasses
did.
on going.
Yeah, we kind of do that thing too. It's like, well, all right.
But it
that's
was
over.
interesting to see the people in the news that were down in Texas or Mexico, where it was like 2:30 in the afternoon down there, and the fellow that was reporting it said to the cameraman, "Shut all the lights off so people can see how dark." It was pitch black at 2:30. Yeah, if you were in the 100% totality range, it was like night. Which is fun.
Because we were, 92 or 93, and it didn't get that.
I didn't think we were going to get
That's an amazing
anything.
thing. We were talking about that, the difference between that 7% between pitch black and just on a dark afternoon. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it shows you how overpowered the sun is. We don't even really need that much of it.
That's right. Good.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for coming. Anytime you want to come talk to us, let us know.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jim.
very much. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay. So, we got through minutes. Stipend
Stipend.
for the barn inspector.
Yes.
So how do we do this? Do we sign something or do we just put it in?
I made an invoice.
Oh, okay, perfect. So let's do, because I think this is how we've done it before. Let's do a motion then to pay, and we'll vote on it, and I'll sign it, and then it'll go in the minutes. So we also have that as backup, and then I think it just goes to accounting, right?
Yeah, I put it in the
By
bills.
name.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So to pay
Yeah.
this amount of money for, yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to pay $2,652 to Julie Thomas, our barn inspector. As
That was for last year's
for
stipend.
FY '24 wages. Yes.
Okay. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It has passed. Oh, the Air Boar of Hell. Really?
Oh.
Board of Hell. Oh, what's today?
It's the 8th.
What's today? The 8th?
Today's the 8th, yeah.
God. Okay, I think that takes care of that.
Perfect.
And any other bills?
I have 2 bills.
Well,
Isn't that fancy? One is for the Neshoba Publishing for our hearing notice.
oh
For
yeah.
the motel regs.
Yeah.
And it is for, there's 3 bills on here, but we are the only one at the bottom. It's for $110.35.
Okay.
So I make a motion for this too?
Yeah, might as well.
I make a motion that we pay the Neshoba Publishing, Lowell Publishing Group, 100 and, this, the whole, just the 110,
What's the 110?
$110.35
Okay. And
for
then,
public hearing notice.
all right.
And you just would need to like initial right next to the 110.
Okay, next to ours.
Second
This
one?
Board of Health
Yeah.
one, Planning Board. Yeah, it's this one, right? Okay. All right, I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so I just,
It's always fun when it's multiple boards. And then I have for Neshoba Associated Boards of Health for quarter 3, 4?
must
Yeah,
be.
fourth quarter billing.
Okay. For this amount?
Yes. The total at the bottom.
I make a motion to pay $10,368.23 for fourth quarter billing
From the show.
for Neshoba Boards of Health.
Okay, I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, here we go. There we go. So that one.
And then actually there was a little note that came with this. It says, please provide an email address to receive future invoices. So I will do mine.
Oh, awesome.
Then I'll
Yeah.
get them. But then the other question is for FY25 invoices, is your town able to receive one invoice for all 4 quarters? And if so, do we want to pay in one big amount as opposed to 4 little amounts?
I have no idea.
I don't know,
We can do one, we can do a yearly, that's fine.
I would say whatever accounting or.
yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like more of an accounting question to me.
Yeah, but I
because
just
we're gonna
like-
pay the same amount anyway, so.
So I'll just double check with accounting on that, but
Yeah, okay.
just pay it once.
If it's easier all around to just pay once, that works for me too.
Okay.
well,
Put us down as a no preference.
No
A strong preference.
okay.
All right, upcoming meetings. So, we're into our string of holidays now, right? 'Cause we have.
Yeah, we have a bit of a thing, so.
And also, didn't we talk about this once? that, given the fact that depending on what we need to meet about, and if we can't meet on a Monday, we can pick during the week.
Yeah.
We kind of left it open-ended that way.
Yeah, we did, and I didn't speak to Bridget today. Do you know if there's anything on the back burner with Bridget that she wants to get?
Not that I know of, off the top of my head.
Well, I think the Monday, you had, Sam,
So the
had-
15th is a holiday,
right,
Yeah.
that's,
and then the 22nd is town meeting.
Second is town meeting.
right. But should we do as an as-needed basis then?
Well, the next one that would be regularly scheduled for us would be the 13th of May. But in May, if we could, because the 27th must be Memorial Day.
Yeah, that weekend. Well, no, yeah, that's the first Monday,
Yeah.
you're right.
So should we look at being, we're the second and the fourth Monday, so I think we're supposed to be the 13th and 27th, but
Yes, we are.
what do you think of the 6th and 20th? Because then we at least don't hit,
So the
Right.
13th is,
Definite. I can't do the 20th. I have jury duty.
what was the
good
reason
for you.
you don't want to do the 13th? What did you say?
We can, I'm just thinking that gets us, then on the 27th, we run into another conflict,
yeah.
because it's, But yeah, we can do the 13th.
I mean,
if we need to meet before then.
I mean, if we keep running into this kind of thing every month, at least nail down one
Yeah,
for each month, and then
this is
as
true.
needed.
That is very true. So let's get, that's a good point. Let's get May 13th,
Okay.
for
For
sure.
next.
Yeah, and then if we need to do one before that, then I think it would either be Monday the 29th or like on a different day.
Yeah,
So-
it all depends on our schedules,
It would
right?
have to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
another day. I'm not here on the 29th.
You're not here on the 20th,
29th.
29th?
20,
Okay.
oh, of April,
Of
okay.
April, I
Yeah,
will be in
okay.
Florida.
Oh, lucky girl.
And then the 20th, I have jury duty. It's just thrilling.
We'll probably be okay till the 13th. We got all the chicken permits just have to go out, but.
Yeah, and they're due the 31st of May. So
Yeah,
as long as I get
so
them in
13th should be okay there.
And then other days of the week, we can always look, especially if we
Yeah,
want to do it during
okay.
the day or
Yeah.
early in the day.
Yeah.
We might be able to do that.
Okay.
You know, once Steve comes back and stuff.
Especially if there's something.
Yeah,
big.
let's see if something does
Comes down
come
the line.
up for us, but
Okay.
definitely we got May 13th for our
Okay.
next kind of regular meeting.
All right.
All right,
All right.
I will entertain motions.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.